Hi guys, and welcome into the Wild Light Oracle. This is a really new channel. I also have one called Inner Sanctuary, and I will change them a bit. So Inner Sanctuary used to be mostly for tarot. I will change that one so we will have more of guided meditations and energy, the English word. And like a mix of healing and meditation transmissions. And then with me in the background here, you have I can call him assistants, Julie. And I put on my horse shirt today because I want to share a download I had a bit like a few weeks back actually. Regarding actually with the saying softening like a horse, but as a symbology. And to add to that, I've been in such a horse spirit and Rhiannon not Rhiannon. Okay, just skip that. Horse spirit, it's been such a like horse medicine, it's been so with me this last half a year, more than usual. Even before I knew it was the year of the horse the next year. So we're moving from the year of the snake, about shedding, releasing, this whole year, releasing, and shedding the old to moving to the new. And then next year, and it's also a number 9, a year that represents endings and new beginnings. And then we move into year 26, which is a number 1 year numerology, and also representing beginnings, newness, freshness. And then it's also the year of the fire horse. And a horse is already such a symbol of movement, of freedom, of liberation, of action, groundedness, heart-centered action. But then with it being also the blah, with it also being the element of fire, that really that really amps up the horse energy. And for some of us, we might run a bit hot next year. We might suddenly be, it might be a lot, but I'm looking forward to it. Anyway, what I was gonna say, even before I knew or thought about that it was the year of the horse the next year, it was like the horse energy just came and took me with it. That's the shirt today. It's so cute, by the way, with the dogs. And then I had this download, like in a dream. The energy's it's been some massive downloads coming for me while I'm sleeping as well, and in meditations. And then it was one night, and I could really feel the energy a bit like when I heal, like I work as a healer, when I work on people, the way I can feel sometimes how the energy is restricted, or it might meet, like our energy flow. Sometimes it might be meeting certain blockages in us, or things blocking, stopping, resistance. And this time it was like it wasn't really a dream. I was like half awake, but I could really, it was first a dream. I felt it in the dream, and then I woke up, and then I could really feel it, and it didn't feel scary at all, but it felt really good. But I could feel this energy working on me. Like it was coming, that it was, a lot of the times I work with moving my energy up and out, but this was really clearly more like universal energy, wanting me to open up for it to fully flow through me and down. And like half asleep, I was like connecting with this energy and the star beings, the entities that I felt was working on me. And I I was like, what is this? What's going on? And why did I dream? Because I had a dream that really clearly pointed to something about my inner masculine. And now I'm also trying to remember this, but the way it was explained to me was like, yeah, you're opening up your, we're working on your, well, on your whole being, but you still have like this kind of masculine related to my inner masculine blockage, especially with my solar plexus, and they really helped me, worked on that to open it, to let this energy, because what they told me, which kind of fits for my life, made sense. Maybe I will made it up in my sleep, I don't know, but what they told me was like the energy flow, the Shakti flow, the energy moving up through me was already really strong and open, but I still had this resistance to fully letting that energy flow down and through me. And it related to some patterns, resistance I had with my inner masculine. And then the symbology they gave me, sorry, I'm kind of getting to it now, was like, because they spoke the language they knew I would understand. Like, so what they told me was like, we need you to soften like a horse, soften to what we do, soften to the universe, to source like a horse. And if you're, oh, I feel like such a cowgirl now. If you're into horses and horse training, you know what I mean. If you're not, it might just sound like I mean to soften my body, to relax, which is partly true in a way. And then, but there's a whole process there. It's a training technique, really, where you actually, when you soften a horse, you especially work on young horses, or that's typically when you do it. When I don't really like the word of breaking a horse. I think there's a better word for it. But when you're training a horse, a broke horse, when you're training a young horse to get used to the rider, but also if you want to train it to be, again, searching for the best English words, when you train it to be willing and tension free, and like and you train its responsiveness to you as a rider, and the trust, and the way, the process of doing that is actually adding pressure. My hair is like pressure, adding, working with pressure and release and groundwork, but in short amount of times. So it's like you actually put the horse in sometimes positions with its neck, sometimes, you know, like you put the horse in situations and positions that are uncomfortable for the horse right away, and especially right away when it's new, it can be also triggering for the horse. But you do it just a short amount of time and then you release. So you give pressure, tension, and you even would usually do it further, to a further extent than what you will need from the horse in the real life, like afterwards. Like, for example, you might train it to move its neck like one way, and while you give it cues with your legs, if you work on the its responsiveness to your leg work, and you might train it to respond to that. Trying to explain it in the best, in a, you know, you might over exaggerate it while you're practicing it, but then as soon as it gets it, and sometimes even not gets it, it just partially gets it, and then, you know, more and more you will release, because the release in itself is a reward. So that's the practice of it. And I was told to soften to this energy like a horse. And then the next day too, like that night, I was a bit like, I mean, I kind of got what they said, but it was in the middle of the night and I was tired, and I was like, I think I get it. But I was really sleepy. And then I think it was the next evening, I was in this guided meditation with a teacher I have. She was guiding the meditation, and then she's saying this saying that I also, Richard Rudd, that I really like with Gene Keys, he's also he has a meditation saying softening your heart and soften your heart, soften your body. And normally when I hear that, I wouldn't think about the softening process of a horse. I would just, like think about softening, relaxing. Yeah, just like really usually when I hear that, it's like I can feel my body just going like, but since I just had that dream, I started laughing in the meditation because it just was like so clear what they meant to me. And it's great in itself. Soften your heart, soften your body. That's in itself such a beautiful thing to do. But in that, when I heard it that day, it was just so clear. And it was also kind of turned around for me as a way of seeing the energy this last 2-3 months, that a lot of us, still kind of not liking my hair, that a lot of us has been in, back and forward with our nervous systems. Like, it's like the energy, it's like the universe actually is working on us as a softening process to actually be ready for this next year's 2026, 2027 is like, again, to kind of weave in Richard Rudd and what he's explaining, which I agree with from what I can pick up. It's like this year and partly next year too is like really the energy of the closing door. And a closing door will always mean that a new door or a window, something new is opening up. And it's like any good forces out there that really wants us to be at our best right now, but also moving forward. If you're a light worker, empath, like just, I mean, anyone really, but if you're a person that also are working on yourself and you feel that you are, like you feel like you can feel the energy of what's happening now, and you can feel how you're supposed to be a part of it. You can feel how you're actually being almost trained for something. And that's what that kind of download came to mean for me. So just in my own life, for sure, like my nervous system being on and back, like I had nights waking up where I usually don't have that, where for no reason my energy is suddenly like super high, and it's annoying because I want to sleep, but it's also not a bad thing. It's actually just really high voltages of energies moving through me, working with me, for me. And then also being placed in situations that are really scary sometimes, or no, not scary really, but uncomfortable. And for me personally, I don't mean unsafe now as in the past it could have been, but like I don't mean unsafe as I'm not physically safe. I mean just unsafe on my body, on my nervous system. Being visible for me, doing this for me has triggered a lot of fear in the past. Being more and more visible with what I do. Yeah, there's different things, money, issues, like several situations in my life again that really. Sorry, I just heard something. Several situations in my life that are pulling me out of my comfort zone in different ways. I like to be out of my comfort zone. I'd say, at least I have a good thing for me is I like change. I don't, I generally like to live a bit out of my comfort zone. But still, this last half a year, it felt like it's been bringing up old triggers, old wounds so that I really can feel how they are hindering me, how they are blocking me from softening to this energy, from fully being in flow, fully being in trust. So yeah, that's like, I'm sharing this because I feel like it can make sense for more people than me. And that it can be like, if you feel a bit impatient right now, or you feel like you want to move forward, you don't fully know how yet, or you just feel really fed up of all this like shedding and releasing, and of your body being physically tired or drained, then it might help you to know that it's related to what we're moving through, and it is in its own way a training and a preparation for what we're moving into. And I'll end it with that, and then I will definitely do a tarot reading on this, and on the energies we're moving into, and see what want to come through in that. So soften like a horse.